Jones, it is beautiful to be alive. Hello, all my main event baseball YouTube fans. Hope all you guys are having a great Memorial Day Eve and a great Sunday evening, but also a great Memorial Day weekend as well, guys. By the way, happy Memorial Day weekend. Happy Sunday indeed. And of course, guys, happy Memorial Day Eve. But we have a very exciting episode tonight on the Sunday post-game show, guys. For the second straight night, we went to extra innings knockout Pioneer League baseball, guys. So in this post-game show, I am going to break down Game 6 between the Ogden Raptors and the Boise Hawks. I'm also going to talk about the knockout rule in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League, and I am going to give you guys a little sneak preview into tomorrow's episode on Main Event Baseball with Ryan. Okay, guys, so I get a lot of questions if a Pioneer League baseball game goes into a knockout round, then who would get the win and loss when it comes to the pitchers? And that is a really good question and a really interesting question. So if a Pioneer League regular season game or playoff game is tied after 9 innings of work, the first thing you need to know is there is no extra inning rule. And the Pioneer League is the only independent baseball league that has no extra innings, okay? So if a Pioneer League playoff game or regular season is tied after 9 innings, it goes into what we call a knockout round home run derby, which means there will be no pitcher that gets a win or a loss. Basically, it kind of ends in a tie. But what is really interesting, guys, is then the knockout round does begin, okay? So if it goes into a knockout round, then a pitcher will not be credited with a win or a loss. And in the knockout round, we decide the winner, okay? Now, for the first time in the 2026 Boise Hawks season, we had that last night. It ended up going 2 rounds. The first round, no homers were hit, and then Cole Jordan on Ogden hit 2, and then the miracle of Boise Hawks magic came on when Punker de Pasquale would end up hitting 3 bombs to give the Hawks a win on a Saturday night and a Sunday eve at Hawks Memorial Stadium. And that's exactly what happened today. It was Game 6 of a 6-game series between the Ogden Raptors and the Boise Hawks. Guys, the Boise Hawks, with a win today, would win the series 4-2 over the division rival, the Ogden Raptors. For the Ogden Raptors, it was all about splitting a series and ending the series in Boise with 3 wins apiece. So, it was, what were we going to see? A tied series, or the Boise Hawks to win their first series of the 2026 season? It was also the battle of jerseys. The Ogden Raptors wearing their tie-dye jerseys, the Boise Hawks wearing their Hawaiian luau jerseys as well. By the way, guys, the Hawaiian luau, they are worn every Sunday home game by the Boise Hawks. Well, guys, it actually started pretty well for the Boise Hawks. It was a scorching 90-degree day in the Treasure Valley, although it felt like 100 degrees. But guys, the The bottom of the second was where we began in this game. The Boise Hawks batted around in the bottom of the second. They would put a 6-run inning on the board, and before you knew it, the Boise Hawks were already up 6-0 over the Ogden Raptors. That would be just the beginning of today's 3-hour, 37-minute ball game between the Ogden Raptors and the Boise Hawks, guys. Now, the one thing that you got to know about the Ogden Raptors is throughout this series, or throughout this 6-game series, the Ogden Raptors have been absolutely dominant in pretty much anything the Boise Hawks have done. The Ogden Raptors have been able to respond with vicious unleashes of amounts of anger, guys. Just talking about game 2 of this series, when the Ogden Raptors were able to put up 15 runs on the board, and then just 2 nights ago in game 4 of this series, the Ogden Raptors were able to put up 11 runs on the board. And then just look at last night, guys, the amount of fight and the grind and the aggressiveness of the Ogden Raptors, guys. Every time it's been early in the ball game, and really on a Sunday afternoon and a Memorial Day Eve, while my legs got sunburned, the Ogden Raptors were slow. It kind of felt like everything was going right for the Boise Hawks, and it was, because like I said, the Boise Hawks had a 6-run bottom of the second. They had a 4-run bottom of the third, guys. We had a 10-0 ball game. Okay, after only 3 innings of play, the Hawks were up over the Ogden Raptors 10-0. But like I said, do you think we're in the beginning? Oh, we're not even close to the beginning yet, guys, because a few innings later, the Boise Hawks would be able to score 4 more runs, but they would be up 14-1 going to the bottom of the 5th, guys. The Boise Hawks were up going to the bottom of the 5th, guys. We had a 14-1 lead. Actually, guys, I'm sorry. It was after 5 innings of game 6. The Boise Hawks were up 14-1. Okay, so going into the middle innings to the late innings, the Hawks right where they need to be, a 14-1 lead. And then the bippity boppity boo all hit living hard, guys. I can't believe I'm about to say this, guys, but the Ogden Raptors made this game a whole lot more interesting in a billion different ways. They would be able to score 7 runs in the top of the 6th, and that is when the Ogden Raptors and their tie-dye jerseys got the Boise crowd a little shaken up and a little bit PTSD. We're going to get there in just a minute, how the Ogden Raptors gave the Boise Hawks fans some PTSD on a Memorial Day Eve. But really, guys, then the Ogden Raptors went from a slow start, and they started getting into the Boise bullpen. They started giving Sean Persky a little nightmare of his own medicine too, guys. And you know, it's something you gotta know. I gotta point this out right then and now, okay? I keep forgetting to say this, but a 10-0 lead in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League is not a blowout. A 10-0 lead is like a 1-0 ball game. Okay, and maybe in like AA and AAA, that's a blowout. But anytime you're in a Pioneer League game, a 10-0 game is not a blowout. It's literally like a 1-0 ball game, because, guys, like the other night, all right, it was 11-2 in favor of Ogden the other night, and the Ogden Raptors would end up winning that game 11-8. So it can take one bad pitcher and one bad inning, and we got a new ball game. And just like the other night, when the Boise Hawks made it interesting, the same thing happened today in Game 6 with the Ogden Raptors, guys. They would be able to have a 7-run 6th inning. They would score 4 runs in the 8th inning, and then going to the top of the 9th, the Boise Hawks had the lead 15-12. A football score, right? Well, here's the thing, okay? The ending of Game 6 and on a Memorial Day Eve, the final score was a football score, but that's not even close to the point, guys. 15-12, the Hawks are up by 3 going to the top of the 9th, but really they send in at least one of their 3 closers, guys. And the Ogden Raptors were able to come back and score 3 in the top of the 9th, and they would force a bottom of the 9th inning, guys. And that is when it would get a little chaotic, guys. And I am just going to say this, guys. The Boise Hawks were not able to score in the bottom of the 9th. And for the second straight night at Hawks Memorial Stadium and second straight game, we go to the Home Run Derby knockout round. But it wouldn't take long for the decision of this ball game to happen. Last night's hero, Ponca DePasquale, would be able to come up. He batted in round 2 of the knockout round last night and was able to win it for the Hawks. And Sean Persky decided to put him in for round 1 today, guys. And Ponca DePasquale, bam, just like he did last night. Only last night he had to hit 3, and he was able to do that. He only needed 1, and he did that, guys. And the second straight day and the second straight game, the Boise Hawks defeat the Ogden Raptors in a home run derby knockout round. 16-15 your final score, guys. And the Boise Hawks win the series 4-2 over the Ogden Raptors, guys. So the Boise Hawks now move to 4-2 to kick off after their first series, guys. Don't you worry, guys. We're not even done with the opening homestand of the 2026 Boise Hawks. We'll get to their next opponent in just a bit, guys. The Ogden Raptors will have their home opener this Tuesday against the Missoula Paddleheads. We wish the Ogden Raptors the absolute best of luck on Tuesday night, guys. But now we got to talk about who is going to come to Boise this upcoming Tuesday. But before we can get there, guys, I want you guys to enjoy some footage from today's ball game. All right, guys, I'm going to try to end this episode as short, simple, and quickly as possible, guys. But again, guys, the Boise Hawks take game 6 of a 6-game series, winning 4 out of 6 games. 16-15 was the final score today. However, guys, for the second straight night, it went into a home run derby knockout round. So the Boise Hawks moved to 2-0 in a knockout round stage, and they take 4 out of 6 games against their rival, the Ogden Raptors. Now I'm going to kind of lead on to why like a 10-9 ball game in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League would be considered like a 1-0 ball game in MLB. Okay, so you got to understand that the reason a 10-0 ball game in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League is not a blowout, it's simply because, okay, that number one, most of the time on a good day in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League, a starting pitcher is only going to go 5 innings and no more than that, okay? But most importantly, guys, you're not going to see, a 1, 2, 3 inning a whole lot, okay? The average inning of batters you're going to see in an inning is 5. You got to remember, guys, the Pioneer Independent Baseball League, yes, it is a league run by MLB. But on the other end, it is one of the lower levels in independent baseball, okay? And that means that you're going to not always see the best quality of players and of playing. It's just the way it is. So, a lot of people tell me that, the Hawks were up 14-1. And yeah, guys, I do agree. When you're up 14-1, it should have been the game that the Hawks won today without going into a home run derby knockout round. Unfortunately, and maybe luckily, for the second straight game, it ended up going into a knockout round. And you got to take, you got to take nothing away from the Ogden Raptors, okay? They made the Boise Hawks earn their win today. They were down 14-1, and they could have easily gave up right then and there, and they just refused to quit. And bippity boppity boo, next thing you knew, we had a brand new ball game, and we're going into a home run derby, and I got to be very honest with you guys. I think this opening 6-game series was a really good series. There was a lot of great plays. It was a back and forth series. You kind of felt like you were in a rivalry series. And I guarantee you guys, next month when the Ogden Raptors return to Hawks Memorial Stadium, they will have revenge on their mind against the Boise Hawks, because they lost 4 out of 6 games. They were not able to do what their goal was heading into this series, which was win the series. They were not able to at least split the series at 3 games apiece. So next week, next month in June, they will be coming for revenge on the Boise Hawks. And that revenge will either happen or not happen. But you kind of say, guys, maybe the Boise Hawks got a little bit lucky today with winning a home run derby for the second straight game. They go to 2-0 in the home run derby, but it could have been prevented. I'm fully aware of that. Any other baseball fan is fully aware of that. I spoke to some Boise Hawk fans after 2 days ball game, and most of them all even said, along with my own mom, that this was a game that should have not gone into a home run derby, and it did go into a home run derby, but it shouldn't have. So, that's really what I'm just trying to get out here is, it's only the first series of the season, but this can't happen every single, series. So that's all I'm going to say really on this 6-game series. Again, the Boise Hawks take 4 out of 6, and they will begin a 6-game series at Hawks Memorial Stadium against the Modesto Roadsters starting Tuesday night. But that is 2 days from now, guys. So I'm going to end the episode there, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. Again, Hawks take Game 6, 16-15 for the second straight night in a home run derby knockout round. But the biggest takeaway from 2 days ball game is that the Ogden Raptors went from being down 14-1 in the 5th inning, and within a few innings later, they would play 9 full innings and be able to tie it up at 15 apiece before losing for the second straight night in a home run derby knockout round.